everyone, it's Tammy, and today I'm going to make this cute card that says be still and know, and then it's just blank inside, so you can write whatever you'd like, or I can write whatever I'd like since it's the card I'm going to send to someone. And I thought that I would show you what I did to make this. I'm using the Tranquil Tulips kit that I had from Stampin' Up. This was a Hostess kit. I don't even know when. Does it tell you the year? I think they used to, but I don't see a year on there now. But any kind of flowery stamp would work. And then I also have these soothing sentiments from the Greetery, and I'm using the one that says be still and know. And then I also used the Stampin' Up! Big Shot layering ovals framelits. I used one of the scalloped ovals and then one of the regular ovals. So let me show you what I did to make this card. In sets where you really don't need much more than ink, and away you go. So I do have 3 different colors of ink that I'm using today. Pear Pizzazz, Berry Burst, and Close to Cocoa. I used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so that's why I have a lot of Stampin' Up! Stuff. I do love their product. I don't have everything, of course, and I haven't gotten really anything much new, but I'm going to go ahead and open all 3 of these, so I'll have them opened. And I'm going to set this over here so I can see it. Oh, and I have envelopes ready with them, and I was going to stamp the envelope. Let me just leave this out so that I'll remember to stamp the envelope too. So I have an A2 size card. This is just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that I scored at 4 1/4 in half, and then I cut it in half the other way at 5 1/2. So it makes 2 A2 sized cards, which are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then on top of that, I'm going to layer just this piece of cardstock that I had in my stash. And this one as well. Now they aren't exactly the same color, but I thought they were close enough that I thought they looked nice together. So just 2, I don't want to say contrasting, complementary colors, I guess. And then I like to pair usually a pattern with a solid. I have a struggle with pattern on pattern, although when somebody else makes a card like that, I love it, but I still struggle with that. That's a challenge for me for sure. So I'm just going to put that down first, and so that's cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 as well, so it fits right on the top of the card. And this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, so it's a 1/4 inch smaller on each side, and this is just going to layer right on top of it. And this is some double-sided cardstock that I had in my stash. I'm trying to do a little more stash diving because I've accumulated so much stuff. I really need to use it. And I'm kind of a hoarder because I love it and I don't want to use it because I think, oh gosh, if I use it then I won't have it, but that's kind of silly. I'm going to go ahead and even put this down. I stamped it in black just on white cardstock, and then I just kind of zhuzhed the edges with that berry color. So it gave it a nice little outline. And I like it just right here in the corner. And then I suppose if I wanted to, I could go ahead and put this down. So this is the one that I used the scallop die for. I just made this contrasting background color just a little bit bigger than the actual one I'm going to put the images on. And that's just this oval, and it will go right on top like this. But before I do that, I do want to stamp. And I also have this out just to make it easy for me to have something to stamp on, because the circle isn't a very big, or the oval isn't a very big workspace. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the stems. I'm going to get those stamped on here. And I want them to be kind of low, and there's 3 stems on this particular stamp, but I only want 2 of them to show. So I'm just going to have to be careful on how I place. And I think if I did it about like that, I should be good. And then I'm going to take the biggest flower the biggest background flower, and I'm going to put that in the color that I want the flowers. This happens to be the berry color. I'm going to stamp it once on my like extra card sheet, the one that my scrap, and then I'm going to stamp it right on there. And I'm also going to stamp it once down here and stamp it over here. Stamp it over there. And then there is a, this is why it's called the two-stepper. There's one that goes in the front of this other one. So I'm going to stamp that, and I'm not going to stamp it off. I'm going to leave it full colored, and I'm just going to stamp it right on top of that last image. And isn't that cool how it makes it look so much more like a flower? And then I'm going to do the same thing to these envelopes. And then I'm going to take this little, I don't even know what it's called, this little part of this flower that goes right like that. So I'm just going to put that there. I stamped it in brown. And then there's another smaller flower. I'm going to take that, put that in the main color, and stamp this stem. I can see I'm getting some ink on the edge there. I need to be careful. And then the one that goes in front, I'm getting that one inked up. Again, I'm not going to stamp it off. I'm just going to go straight on. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And then I just like the idea of a little more greenery, so I took the leaves that they had with it, and I'm just going to put some leaves. Wherever you feel like you might want one. And you know what, I'm going to put one over here too, even though I don't have the stem on there yet. I'm going to go ahead and do a leaf or two. Envelopes don't always stamp so well because they have the, I mean, I could do it better. I'm not doing a very good job with it, to be quite honest. I'm going to take one of the single stems. Oh, I was going to do that in brown. I don't want to do that. When you open all of them, you have to be really careful to make sure that you're picking the color that you want. And I'm going to put this on here and stamp so that it touches the leaf and the flower. Same thing with this one. There we go. It doesn't quite touch the leaf, but it'll be fine. And then I'm going to take my other leaf, the one that kind of faces the other way, and put it down here. So now my envelopes are ready, and then I'm going to put, I think just right there. I think that might be good for this one. I think the last one I went a little bit crazy, so I kind of like a more minimalistic image. Let me put these away now. I'm just going to close them up, put them away, and then I can start in on the final step, which is just to glue this to the front of the card. Now, I do have a little bit of ink right here. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. I might zhuzh the edge, actually. I think I will. I think that will make that show up a little less. And to make it even a little less obvious, I'm going to take this and just kind of softly go around the whole thing. That's a little bit more than I wanted to. But that's the thing about crafting. There really are no accidents. Just make it work. I think that looks really pretty. So now I'm just going to take my glue, and I think it would be really pretty with a ribbon too, or a little bow, not a ribbon, well, a ribbon and a bow, or just a bow. If you put a little bow right here, but I want to make sure these get to the recipient okay, so I'm not going to put them on because I am going to mail these. I actually think I like that one better with the background. But there we go. I mean, super fun, super easy, and matching envelopes, which makes it, just gives it a little added touch, I think. And that's that. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Hope that this inspired you to get creative, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.